Okay, we should be live. I'm just going to refresh my screen. Okay, it looks am I frozen? Okay, no. We're good. All right, guys. So, welcome back to another live stream for Thursday Lives. I'm Pam from Stella Crafts by Pam, and today we're going to be crafting our stash. We're going to be working with supplies that I have in my stash that I either haven't used, they're new to me, or I've used them maybe once or twice, or not together. But this is a cute card idea that I came up with, and I'll just zoom in a little bit. So it's got this mocktail here, which is red, white, and blue. I did that considering the holidays that have been around with Memorial Day, and then 4th of July is coming up. And then I guess this is more 4th of July related because it says a true friend reaches for your hand and puts a cocktail in it. So is alcohol everything today? It's alcohol drink on here, and we're going to be working with alcohol inks. So I'm going to go over some of the supplies that you might want to gather from your stuff, and if you are just following along and going to be working on your own thing, that is fine. So let's see what we have here, and I'm just going to see if I can pull up the chat. So remember, if you're here, go ahead and say hello in the chat. I feel like every week there's always another tech issue, no matter how prepared I am. I literally had everything set up an hour before, and as soon as I hit start broadcast, everything shut down. So I don't know what it is, but we'll get it figured out. So some of the things that you're going to need if you have a star stencil, either a layering stencil or just one star stencil, that's going to be helpful to create our background. I have this Queen and Company bottoms up stamp set, and I think it was part of a kit at one point. I ended up separating the kits and separating all the supplies, and I just use the stamps and the dies. Really, it comes with these little foam pieces that you can create shakers with. I'm not big into shakers, at least like not that thick. So I just have the stamp set inventoried as a drink stamp set. So it has things like a true friend reaches for your hand, puts a cocktail in it, which we're using. Sip, sip, hooray. May your day bubble over with happiness. Happy New Year. Congratulations. Wish you were beer. Miss your mug. Old fashioned but awesome, just like you. Bubbles make everything better. So it's a lot of fun sentiments. And then it comes with 2 sets of dies. Well, it comes with 1 set. So here you can see it used to be a kit. So I don't use any of that together except for the stamps and the dies. But these are the dies that it comes with, and that's what's going to cut out our shape here. But then it also comes with these outline dies, and that's what makes it possible to have this separate piece that you can just adhere onto your card. Normally you would just kind of build onto your card base, but with these dies you can actually separate it from your card base. So I have already pulled out what we're going to need from that. So the other thing you might want is a die that's going to cut down a rectangle to 5¼ by 4 inches. And you don't have to have a die. You can just use your paper trimmer to cut down to that size. This one I like because it is a little wonky with its stitching, and I think it always adds like some fun details around the outside. So I already went ahead and I die cut a sheet of, I think this was Express It blending cardstock, either that or it's Nina, it's one or the other. but I'm going to be doing ink blending on here with our stars. So I wanted something that had like a good blending capability. So I have that cut out already. I also have little pieces that we're going to need die cut. So I have like a little umbrella that's die cut from red cardstock, a straw from white cardstock, the outside of our drink, and the base of our drink cut out with white cardstock. And then the other piece is going to be our alcohol ink piece, which we will do together. And what else? You'll need some acetate. So I have some acetate sheets here, cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We're going to need some blending brushes. We're going to need some inks for blending our stars. So I've got Catherine Puller's Oh Boy and Rockin' Red. We've got some Versifying Clear for stamping our sentiments. These are the alcohol ink colors I'll be using. So I've got, I'm not sure what color this is, Red Pepper and Glacier, so anything similar. I am also going to be using a mixative snow cap. And like, once you figure out how I'm doing this, I could have probably just used white plastic instead of transparency, but originally I was going for a see-through look, like a glass look, and I wasn't using the snow cap. But once I use a snow cap, you probably could have just used a craft plastic that's white instead of that. So it's up to you what you want to use. I brought out my blending solution. I don't remember if I did use it, but I do have it here. I also have some clear or white glitter. So I have Distress Rock Candy, which looks like that. It's a kind of a chunky glitter. And to get the little salt rim, I have some Oh Boy re-inker. So it's that same color we had here, but I have the re-inker because we're going to dye it the white glitter a blue glitter. And I think that's about it. I have some flat sequins for embellishing after the card is done. And that's about it. So it is up to you what you guys want to start with first. We can start with the background, or we can start with the alcohol ink. So let me know what you'd rather start with. If I knew how to put a poll up, I would put a poll up, but I don't. And while I'm waiting, here's just a few other pieces that I have created with the alcohol inks. So this was a purpley blue, but for some reason it dried kind of funny, so I don't know if I just had too thick of a layer of alcohol inks there, but that could be a mixed drink. And this is with using the transparent without the snow cap. So this one was supposed to be a pink and a red. This one's a pink and orange, or a red and orange. And then this one's backed with a cardstock piece, which I said is what you'll get with the outline dies. All right, looks like we don't have any votes for what we're going to start, so I'm going to start with the cool part. Let's start with our alcohol inks. So I have some put to the side that I've already created. I'll show you those in a minute. I'm going to show you how I created it here, but because it needs time to set and dry, I'm not going to be using this on the actual card. And I think when I made our cards, for some reason, I feel like the red should be on the bottom. I'm not like a person that does mixing of alcohol drinks, but I feel like there's something about the dyes, like the red might have like a heavier weight to it or something like that. I don't know. I could just be making that up right now. I have no idea, but I'm going to put the red down, I think, this time. Also, I think it will help our umbrella stand out a little bit more right here if we make it blue. So either way, what I started off with was this mixative. I forget, I don't think there's a ball in here, so that's fine. We don't have to mix that up. And let me know if the sound is okay. I have to sometimes play around with my mic to get it to work nicely. I think when I went back to last week's video, the sound sounded very quiet, so I don't know if that was just me or what it is, but you might have to just turn your volume up to hear me. All right, so what I did is I just put down a mixative, and I'm going to go in then with my, doesn't really matter on here what I go in with. It looks like there's some red up here for some reason, so I'm going to go in with the red. And you'll also want some type of blowing tool. So who knows if I can do this again. I did it quite a few times after I did it, but it was like a week ago. So what I did is just kind of let the red mix with the white. So it's kind of doing its mixing as I'm blowing to get this palish red color. And I'm going to go in some more just to darken it up a little bit. I am by far not an expert with alcohol inks, but I know enough to get the technique that I am looking for. So basically what I want is it to be red, white, blue. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I might add some more red. I'm going to add our blue and then see. I'm going to do it pretty far away just so that the white doesn't disappear. And I'm going to stop it in its track so it doesn't mix with the white in the middle. And I'm just blowing it back and forth, mix it with the white. Okay. And I actually could just leave it like that. I'm going to see if I can get this red tiny bit darker. Because I basically want it to look like one of those bomb pops. I know they do drinks like that. And look, I think I dipped my blower into the white, but it's going to fix itself. Or I'm just going to blow the white and try to fix it. I can always add more white to fix that. And I just want to have like a fluid look like you would have in your drink. Oops. See, I knew I'd mess up somehow. But I think if I take that white again, I can get rid of that. So that's when you know that you're probably doing too much, because then you start making mistakes. But basically, before I did that part, up to that part, that's, you know, how you wanted it to be. So I will show you the ones that I have already prepared that are dry. This one's not going to be a total loss because I don't know how wet it is right now. I'm going to be using the other side. So I'm going to just see. It's not too bad. So I'm going to just put that to the side, maybe for another card. And these are the ones that I have done so far. So what I did is the same thing, but then I placed them face down onto white. The first time I did this, the alcohol ink stuck to the white paper, and I was able to die cut it and keep them together, but because it wasn't too wet, it didn't do that this time. But I'm still going to die cut them together and then glue the two pieces together. So I'm just going to pick one of the spots that I like. I think I might like this one the best. These are some crappy scissors. They have a bunch of adhesive on them. So I'm just going to cut that out. Cut out a portion of our paper. you could just put this on a piece of cardstock, but I don't have one right here, so I'm just going to go with this printer paper. And we're going to pull our die, which is going to be this outline die. So that way when we use this is the shape die. When we use the outline die, that way we have something that we can glue it onto. So figure out where I want that and go ahead and tape it down. This is some low tack, it's called highlighter tape. Oh, and I think I said I wanted to do it the other way around this time, so let's flip it upside down and see if that's a little bit more accurate. If you know, feel free to comment below because I'm not really sure. But I think I looked online and I did see one that was the blue on top, so that's why I'm going with that. So tell me, let me know if you guys are crafting along with me, if you're looking through your tools to see if you got anything similar, or if you have the same supplies, or if you're just watching, sitting back and watching, that's fine too. Or if you're crafting something completely different, that's okay too. All right. So now I've got my drink piece. And we need the straw that's been cut from white cardstock. The umbrella, which has been cut with red. See, that looks better because that's going to stand out against the blue. All right. Thank you, Jeanette, for letting me know that we're live. Make sure the sound is okay. If the sound's not okay, let me know. So I'm going to glue these on first, and then I will put the outline die on. So I just need a fine tip glue bottle. And I've got this just barely art glue with the fine tip on it. So I'm only going to put it on the stick part of the umbrella until I see if we need a little bit more. I'll wipe some of that off because there's some extra. Put that so it's sticking up a little bit. And then do the same thing with our straw. Take some of the excess off. I think I got a little glue booger on here. Gross. Alright, make that so it's sticking out. Don't mind that. Alright, and then just make sure everything's placed good. I think that looks good. So I'm going to do my outline. And this kit should still be available. I believe I saw it available on the Queen & Company site. I don't know who else, if anyone else carries it. But there's also a lot of companies now that have these drink type dies. So you would be able to make this. And really, I probably don't need this backing piece. I can just stick it on my card just like this. All right, let's get our stem. I'm just putting a little bit of glue adhesive. And trying to make sure that that is straight. I'm just going to clear our space a little bit here. I have a tendency to have a whole lot of stuff here. And then once I'm done, it's just the rest of my desk is just a mess. All right, so I'm going to give that some time to dry. In the meantime, I'm going to pull in our background panel and our stencils, if I can figure out where I put them. Does anyone else do that? Just lose things while they're crafting? Usually it's my scissors or something important. All right, so it looks like I did my blue first, and then I did my red. And you can place these however you want. I think I ended up doing them backwards. And I'm not sure why I did that, but let me see. Yeah, because this one's backwards. So, nope. No, it's not. Never mind. I lied. Okay. But what I did do is I put it over to the left. That I do remember. So I just have some of this blue tape from Tailored Expressions, which is really good for stencils and holding them down to my glass mat. And just bring that down. And then I'm going to cover up these holes that help us line up our stencils, because I'm going with my own thing. I'm only using 2 of the 3 anyway. And then we're going to start off with the blue. And I just have a blue brush for that. I'm going to start off the paper and make my way on. And I did it pretty lightly. I didn't go in with a dark coat. But I think this ink pad is drying up a bit, but it's to the perfect blending capability. Because if there's too much, then you're going to get too thick of a layer. And there's too little, you're not going to get much ink at all. So there's a point with these Catherine Puller inks where it's just right for blending. And I think we're at that point. Okay, and I think that's it. Go ahead and pull that stencil off. So we've got our first layer. Cover the ink. Then we'll get our red, which is the Rockin' Red. And we're going to put this down, same thing, all the way to the right side. And I'm trying to not overlap the stars too much, because I don't want to get purple. It's one thing I don't want. Just take this down again. And cover up those holes. Alright, so now I'm going to go with my red, and I definitely know that this one I think is inked up more, so I'm going to be careful with this and not going in too dark. Okay, I'm almost done with this. When I go over the blue, I'm trying not to go over it too much, so we avoid getting that purple. And I think that is good. Alright, so we got our red and blue stars with our white background. Can lift that up. Alright, next would be a good idea to go ahead and stamp our sentiment. So I just have a Misty here. That way, if I had to stamp my sentiment twice, I can do that without messing it up. And I'm going to line up my drink on here to help me determine where I want my sentiment to go. So I like this one, a true friend reaches for your hand and puts a cocktail in it. So this could be a great card to try to, cheer someone up, or even just to start off the summer. Maybe you're going on summer break. And what I also like to use, and I didn't put it down yet, is one of these grid panels. And this one is from Taylor Expressions, but a lot of companies have that. And it's really helpful in lining up your sentiments to make sure that they are straight. So I'm kind of using this little curvature of the cup to fit my sentiment in. And looking at my grid, it looks like this is pretty straight. I'm going to kind of use my camera above to look too. Alright, so I'm going to move this out of the way. Pick up our sentiment. And then remove the grid and replace our magnets. And like I said, I'm going to use this Versifying Clair and Nocturne. And just lightly stamp it. Do it again. Because you always add more ink, but you can't take it away. Okay. Go ahead and take this out. I'm going to heat set it with my heat tool. Actually, it's my new heat tool that I got today because my other one pretty much burned out. I don't know, that one kind of has a weird smell too. I don't know. Maybe I just need a new brand. Alright, so we have that set up. I think what I'm going to do next is go ahead and put it onto our black cardstock, which I did not get out, so I'll have to get that out. And the reason I used black was to kind of bring in the sentiment more and make it pop a little bit more, since the black and black will go together. So let me just grab that. I think I have some here that are already cut up to size. Yep, so I use that. And I ended up gluing this flat to the black outline, or black matte. Hopefully my sentiment is dry and not getting smudged. That's good. So just make sure that's even on all sides. Sorry if I'm out of the camera, but do need to see that. Okay. Then I'm going to take my drink. And I think before I put it on, let's go ahead and do the salt for the rim. So I have some left over that I kind of just packed up, but I'll show you how I created it. And do I have a dish? I don't know if this dish is clean. Let's see, I have a paint palette. Alright, so I'm just going to use a paint palette so I can keep my area clean. So I'm going to bring in our glitter. And this is Distress Rock Candy. And I have a little spoon here. I'm just going to spoon some in the center. Then I'm going to take my Catherine Puller Oh Boy re-inker and add some drops. I only added about like 3. And I'm going to find something to mix it with. I think I have some toothpicks I can use. So just break it up. You know what? I think I know what will be better. I'm going to use a palette knife. Tell me in the chat if you guys have ever colored your Distress Rock Candy glitter or any white glitter, or if this is not a new technique to you. I think it's kind of fun because you can get whatever color you want. I remember Tim Holtz talking about this, but I think he used maybe alcohol inks to dye the white glitter. But regardless, clearly the re-inkers work good too. This is a dye ink. Alright, I think that is good and mixed. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is put my Barely Art glue onto the top rim portion of our drink and try to just smooth it out so it's flat. helpful for this part. I don't think I have one, so I'll use this and then just clean it afterwards. Just pick that up, drop it on there, pick it up, drop it on, and then I'm just kind of smush it into the glue, and then tap off the excess. Has some on umbrella. I'm just going to get that off if I can. Alright. So that looks more complete, right? Ugh, I wish I had one of these right now. I'm more of a mocktail person myself, so somehow after pregnancy I just wasn't one for alcohol much. But mocktails are my jam. Alright, and this we're going to put up on some foam tape. And I want to make sure you can't see the foam tape through here. You can't. That was the only reason I put a backer on this, was so that you couldn't see the glue adhesive behind it. And we're not getting that. I'm also going to use some adhesive strips for the bottom portion of our drink. You can get these in like a multi-pack on Amazon, pretty cheap. So I stayed stocked on these. They're great for shaker cards and giving your cards dimension. So just cut off that excess. Great. And I think I'll put one behind the umbrella too. I'll just need some foam, small foam squares for that. So I have these tiny ones too. That one over the edge. Place that. Okay, so I'll remove this off. I'm not going to worry about adhering the straw down, and I just touched my salt. See if I can put that back in place. No biggie. So learn from my mistakes. Be careful when your things are wet. So while we're on the topic of drinks, tell me in the chat what your favorite drink is, whether it's a mocktail, a cocktail, or even just like a juice or something. I know this is one of my favorite drinks for summer, so that's why I wanted to create it. I'll put it where we had that divot for our sentiment. got some more straw too. You could have obviously let this dry before actually putting it on your card, but because I am live, I didn't want you guys to have to wait and be able to see a finished card. So now I just need to grab my card panel, which I have these pre-cut panels that I made, and these are the top folding ones that I have. I have both side folding and top folding. I feel like I got a mess here. All right. So I'm just going to use my tape runner adhesive. Normally I would put this on my card panel and then put it on my card base, but because my card base or my card panel is wet, I'm doing it the opposite way. Alright, so now we're going to finalize it with some embellishments. And I just got these clear flat sequins. They're either Pretty Posh or Simon Says Stamp. I'm not sure which one. But a lot of companies have them, so I didn't bother labeling it. And I usually overthink putting sequins down like this, so I'm going to try to just wing it. And put them down just where I feel. Last time I did a few more for each, but I think I'm going to just put the 3. Now something else that would be kind of fun is I have a glitter pen. I feel like I want to fill in some things, like maybe the umbrella or the straw or even our stars. Maybe I could fill in a few stars. Oh, look at that. That's what happens. You can't see it very well, but I just messed up my star there because it is a dye ink. It lifted up the ink. And I'm going to be brave and try to just put some of that ink back. This is what happens when you're live, is you make mistakes. But it was only because I was trying something new. Okay, I fixed it for the most part. So let's wipe this off. I'm going to wipe the dye ink off. And instead I'm going to add it to our umbrella. Just for a little bit more glitz and glam. Because why not? It is on there pretty heavy. That's the only thing about these, which I think these are Spectrum Noir. They come out like silver, not so much clear like a Wink of Stella would. So maybe I can clean some of that up with the Wink of Stella. Okay, anyway, We've got a really glittery umbrella now. Look at that shimmer. All right. So let me know in the chat if you have any questions about this. Otherwise, I would love for you to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. I'll be here next Thursday and the Thursday following. I have 2 videos already set up that you can click notify me on to be notified when I go live on them. So I just want to thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today, and have a great evening. Bye.